Coming off a gut-wrenching loss at Cincinnati on Tuesday, the Lady Topper volleyball team got back on track at Louisiana Lafayette. WKU swept the Raging Cajuns to extend its conference winning streak to 5 games. A balanced offensive attack was the key to the sweep. Jordan Skinner, Paige Wessel, and Janae Diggins all tallied 10 or more kills. The Lady Tops are back in action tonight as they take on the Warhawks from Louisiana Monroe. And the Soccer Toppers have quietly emerged as one of the hottest teams here on the Hill. Winners in 6 of their last 7 games. WKU is heating up at the right time as conference tournament time approaches. Senior Mallory Outerbridge has shattered nearly every goal-related record for WKU. She also leads the Sun Belt with 12 scores. The Tops wrap up their season with a road trip to South Alabama tomorrow and senior night battle with MTSU on October 28th.
The leaders of the Lady Topper soccer squad has undoubtedly been senior forward Mallory Outerbridge. Our anchor Jeremy Brown talked with the record-setting goal scorer earlier this week.
It's simple, yet vital. You have to score. Scoring has never been a problem for women's soccer player Mallory Outerbridge. Outerbridge made a quick impact for WKU as a freshman in 2007, netting a team-best 7 goals. After redshirting her sophomore year to play for the under-20 Canadian national team, Outerbridge came back to the Hill to lead the Lady Tops in scoring the next 2 seasons. Now, in the midst of her senior season, Outerbridge has become WKU's all-time leader in goals and points.
The scoring is awesome, but assisting is just as good, so but it doesn't feel good unless you're winning. So,
Outerbridge said she doesn't think about records when playing. She's just focused on helping the Tops win. She's helped WKU do just that this season, as the soccer squad has won 6 of their last 7 games. As Outerbridge's career winds down here on the Hill, head coach Jason Nidell says he'll remember the 2-time All-Sun Belt selection, not just as a goal scorer, but as a fun person.
Spirited, just a great attacking player and a great fun young lady to have around.
While Outerbridge is humble about her scoring abilities, she's left a challenge for those that try and replace her on the Hill.
No other words. I mean, being in my senior year and breaking records, that's what it's all about. So I'm happy with how I've done here, and I'm ready to move on and let other people try to beat my records now. So
heading into the final week of the season, Outerbridge has recorded a Sun Belt best 12 goals. WKU ends its regular season against rival MTSU on Friday.
WKU currently sits at 6th in the Sun Belt standings with a week remaining in regular season play. The top 8 teams earn spots in the Sun Belt Conference Tournament, which kicks off on November 2nd in Murfreesboro. Now, Jeremy, it feels like both teams are heating up right now. What do you have to say about that?
The Soccer Tops have won 6 of their last 7, heating up at the right time as the season winds down. And the volleyball team, they're 22-3 on the season, so they've been hot all year long. Dropped a heartbreaker at Cincinnati the other night, but they rebounded last night with a big sweep of Lafayette.
All right, earlier this week, the Extra Point reporter Zack Ryle caught up with director Ross Bjork to talk about the state of Hilltopper athletics.
And now joining us on the Extra Point Game Day edition is Director of Intercollegiate Athletics here at WKU, Ross Bjork. Ross, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks for
Appreciate
having me
it.
on.
All right, first question, WKU, and kind of a little bit of unfamiliar territory, especially during your tenure here, winning streak. What does that mean for the program as a whole for the football team?
Well, hopefully it has nothing to do with my tenure and that it's just the program itself. But no, you know what? We've always believed in what Coach Taggart has done for this program and is building this program. And so to me, it validates that we're doing the right things. Now, we have to continue it, and consistency is the key ingredient to any winning program, is you got to maintain consistency. So 2 games is nice, but now we got to take on Lafayette here at home, and that's going to be a great game, and it means a lot. If you would have said this game means something after we played Indiana State, then I think people would have said, wait a second. But now this game means something. They're 4-0, we're 2-1, we have a chance to set ourselves up. So to me, it's a great feeling to have, no question about it.
You kind of alluded to Louisiana Lafayette, a big homecoming matchup. Homecoming is a big thing here on the Hill. Talk about what all the alumni coming back will mean to the program as a whole and just means to the university.
Well, to me, homecoming, really defines what college is all about. You graduate, you get your degree, and you come back home for a sporting event or for academic events or whatever it might be. So our job as university administrators and as a campus is to make everyone feel welcome. So the campus is open. It's open all week to our alumni, to our friends, to our families, to our students. And really our job is to just make people feel at home. That's what homecoming is all about. Now there's a football game that we pay attention to, that we want to win, and that's really I think the culmination of homecoming weekend is a football game against a great opponent, great atmosphere. The weather's going to be great outside, and so that's what's really all about.
Talk about last week. Last week was a really strong week overall for WKU athletics. I believe in 5-0 between the football program, the soccer program, and the football program. Or I said football program twice there. We'll go volleyball with it. But talk about overall strength of the program right now.
You know what? Our soccer program, I think, is really kind of hitting stride right now. We've had 4 straight shutouts, 3 victories. We had a tie against FIU, and they were second in the conference. So I think we've hit our stride in soccer. Now we got to continue that with a couple tough matches this week. So undefeated in soccer last weekend, undefeated in volleyball, undefeated in football. We went down to FAU and won that game. So that doesn't happen very often where an athletic department has a winning weekend. And when that happens, you know what? We come in on Monday, we celebrate, but then we also turn the page on to the next week because that's what people expect and that's what our athletes do, is they say, yeah, it was great to win those games, but now we got to cap it off with more wins and consistency. What I like about where we stand right now is all of our teams in the fall competition have a chance to finish in the top 3 of the conference. That was a goal that we set out earlier this year for all of our programs. Halfway through the year in football and a little bit past halfway through in soccer and volleyball, we have a great chance to finish in the top 3. And then cross country kicks it off with a race here in the Sun Belt Conference championship meet on October 29th. So again, we expect to finish in the top 3 there as well.
Talk about, conference realignment. We've just talked about the strength of, the program as a whole, especially for the fall sports. But conference realignment, when we talked on our last game day show, it was really right before everything hit the fan and everybody started, moving conferences and playing the game, dancing game that is. But where does WKU sit right now? And you've already talked about the strength of the program. I think it sits a little well.
Well, you know what? I've said this consistently, is I think we're in a great spot. And I think we're in a great spot because the Sun Belt Conference is stable, which means we may be able to attract other members to our conference depending on what happens elsewhere, or we're also attractive for other conferences that may want to expand. And so we sit in a great geographic footprint. We have great facilities, we have great history, great tradition, great leadership, a campus that's growing, an athletic department that's evolving, football that's evolving at the 1A level. We have all the ingredients to set it up. Now, you got to wait for decisions to be made across the country, and then we sit there and say, okay, let's respond to this, let's react to that. The driver is not happening in the Sun Belt Conference. We're not in the driver's seat on this realignment, and that's both good and bad. It's good from the standpoint we're stable, and not so good from the standpoint is that we might be at the mercy of other conferences. But I always say that we're in a great spot, and we are. We have national leadership with Dr. Ransdell. I'm plugged in at the AD and conference commissioner level, and we're always on top of how this might unfold.
All right, well, we will be back just after the break for a few more questions. You don't want to miss the follow-up interview coming up right after the break.